Hi everyone, I'm Cindy Walters. Thank you for joining us today. We are back with another Shibboleth success story. Our success just continues to explode over the United States, and today we're joined with Joe Hite. Joe has lost over 200 pounds in 11 months, and I'm just excited to introduce him to you, and so I'm just going to dive right in. Joe, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Cindy.
Yes. All right, now I've given a little sneak peek of how much you've lost, but you tell me exactly how much you've lost.
Okay, I've lost 221 pounds.
That's amazing.
And I started December the 27th of 2016, and 11 months later, I'd lost 210 pounds, and I reached my goal. I'm in maintenance now, and I've lost 11 more pounds in maintenance.
Oh, great. Well, I'm just going to jump right to this because we want to know how much weight you've lost, but you brought some special clothes with you today that I want you to go ahead and show us. I know that these are not the clothes that you started out in.
No,
these were actually, you'd lost a little by the time you got to this. But this was one of Joe's shirts. This was a 4X, I believe is what you told me.
Yes,
and now you're down to, let's hold it up just a little bit.
I'm down to an extra large now.
Down to an extra large.
Yes.
My goodness. And some larges? Wow. And I believe you've also brought a pair of dress pants.
Yes, ma'am.
And same thing, I know these are not the ones you started out in when you started the program.
I started a waist of a 64 waist, and these are a 56 waist right now.
And today you wear
I'm a 38-40 waist today.
Oh my goodness, Joe, that is just amazing. Well, I know you get asked all the time about how you did the program, but we're going to save a little bit of that because I know that you are very strict in what you eat, and that's what it takes, is you've put in that effort of being strict. But let's save some of that.
Okay.
And what I want to know is, have you always suffered from weight loss, or not weight loss, but from weight issues, or is it just something that happened in just the last couple of years that you just all of a sudden put on the weight?
Yes, ma'am. I've always been, suffering from being overweight. I mean, I was always a stress eater, emotional eater, just eating constantly.
Right. Were there particular trigger foods that you went to, or vices that you went to, whether it was chocolate? That seems to be a big one for a lot of people. Or
any Italian food, pasta, spaghetti, pizza, the buffets.
Right.
I mean, also Chinese food. That was my comfort food.
Okay. So did you do a lot of eating out?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I like eating out.
Do you still eat out?
I do.
You do,
Yes,
and that's
ma'am.
the great thing about Shibboleth, is you can still eat out. You can still enjoy some of those same foods in smaller portions or on a holiday, that kind of thing. But so you said you were an emotional eater, and I can identify with that. I ate whether I was happy or sad or just to celebrate or whatever it was. I always found an excuse to eat out. Had you tried to lose weight prior to Shibboleth, or was this your first lifestyle change?
Why eat more when you're trying to lose weight?
Right.
As Travis says, less is best. So.
Right. Well, and so you found that with having the mentors that we have at Shibboleth, that was very helpful to you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you utilize those mentors.
Yes, ma'am.
I know a lot of people, I think, tend to stray away from whether it's journaling or using the mentor, and you seem to really cling to that.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how those mentors helped you.
Well, my first day, I was out in the parking lot sitting in my car, scared to go in, crying, almost crying, and I called Brooklyn, and Brooklyn talked me into the front door. And the first day, some people just don't do it the first day, but I started that day, and thanks, God comes first in my life, and thanks be to Brooklyn and Sasha, they got me started in it, and I just fell in love with it.
Right. Well, I know you attend classes at least weekly.
Every class.
Every class. You're like me. You're a self-proclaimed class junkie. And now you go to the center to attend classes.
Yes, ma'am.
And of course, Shibboleth has the online classes. Do you do any of the online classes?
I watch some of them, but I prefer to go in person because more being in person class, it helps you stay accountable.
Right.
And you get to see new people, talk to new people, inspire new people, which I try to do.
Joe has inspired many people. That's no doubt. There have been many that have joined Shibboleth because of you. While we're talking about that, I also know that you started out on a new adventure with going with individuals to the grocery store.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell us what inspired you to do that.
Well, I started going with Brooklyn on her groups of them, and it was like the good Lord just told me, hey, this is something that you can do on a one-on-one basis to help people understand it more. Because in groups, that can be kind of confusing sometimes, and
Right.
I just go there and take my time helping people. And Travis said that's what he started doing when he first started, and so slowly I'm trying to walk in Travis's footsteps, but that's impossible because there's just one Travis. And
Well, there is just one Travis, and there's also just one Joe. And
Yes,
your story is important to tell, and it's important for others to hear and to do what you've done. Are there things that you participate in now that you did not participate in when you had on an extra 221 pounds? What kind of activities do you do now that you didn't do before? I know you are a gardener.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you still garden
Yes.
even when?
Yes, ma'am. But I had to sit down and plant my plants in the ground. But now I can stand straight up and just bend over and just dig the hole even and everything.
Right.
I went hiking one time back when I was heavier, and it took me an hour and 48 minutes to climb Pine Mountain, which is in Cartersville. I did it one time after I lost all my weight in 28 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. You've shaved some big
Yes,
time
ma'am. No
time
rest,
off
no
of.
rest, no stops, just
Just straight through.
Yes,
Well, I know that you've shared videos with us through our Facebook page for Shibboleth about your gardening, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that garden this year.
Yes,
I know
ma'am.
that peppers are probably one of your favorite things to plant.
very hot peppers.
Very hot peppers. Okay. Well, how'd you start in with the peppers?
Well, years ago, my aunt had pickled peppers for me all the time, and that's how I started liking hot peppers. And,
Okay.
And then I started doing research on hot peppers. They help speed up your metabolism. They're good for they help prevent cancers of certain kinds. They're full of vitamin C. They have more vitamin C on some than orange does. And so,
Oh wow! So just good for you
Yes, ma'am.
all around, but also something that you can still have that you
Yes.
were accustomed to having.
Yes, ma'am.
Joe, we've talked about gardening and hiking, and now I want to delve just a little bit deeper into Joe. And most of us have had some health issues that we were battling or hadn't been diagnosed quite yet with, but knew they might be underlying because of what we had done with our eating and our weight. But some suffer from diabetes, some with high blood pressure. Was either one of those something for you?
No, ma'am. I was fortunate. I mean, I didn't have high blood pressure, no diabetes, no medical problems. Just being obese.
This being obesity.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, and that obesity affected you not with your health, but potentially in some other ways. Is that something that you can share with us about and how
Yeah.
it might have affected you?
Yes, ma'am. At my highest weight, I was having trouble getting into the cars because my stomach being against the steering wheel and everything. I was tired of going into the big men's clothes and shopping. I was tired of not being able to fit into the booths at restaurants and things. Mm-hmm. And so I just started getting more down and down, depressed.
Oh yes,
And-
depression can really play havoc.
Yes,
For the
ma'am.
life.
Depression is not anything to play with. And one day I thought, God, I've had enough. I can't take it no more. Mm-hmm. I thought about different ways of just taking my life. Mm-hmm. I was just sick of myself. I couldn't look in the mirror at myself. I was letting friends down. I was letting my family down. I feel like I let my dad down. He passed away years ago, but he was worried about my weight also. But one day, I just woke up.
Right.
And I thank God for showing me the path to take to get help.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Shibboleth was part of that help, and but the bigger help of it was your faith.
Yes, ma'am.
Was your personal walk.
Yes, ma'am. God comes first. My family comes second. Well, my family and church comes second. Shibboleth comes third, but that's a real tight 1, 2, and 3 right there. But,
right.
But God always comes first in my life.
Right. Well, something that you and I talked about earlier today was learning to love yourself. And learning to love ourselves is something that it takes time.
Yes, ma'am. You have to grow.
You have to grow. That's right. And Joe, you've grown a lot as you've shrank, with Shibboleth. And now you're continuing to inspire others. You're continuing to grow and learn more about yourself. And I know that sharing with folks today, and I know that there's someone out there, that this will touch. How do you feel now about Joe?
I feel great. I feel great about myself. Every time I see a mirror, I have to take pictures of myself. I used to never do that. I love it. You just gotta stay positive. You've got to want to do it. I mean, people get mad at me sometimes because I'm so positive, but I'll always stay positive because I know that Shibboleth works. It's my lifestyle, and I'll leave this world, but I'll still be on Shibboleth.
I love it, Joe. I just, the time that we've spent today has absolutely been a joy. And I know that we're about out of time, and I hate it because I could just sit here and talk with you, about. There probably are other questions that I need to ask you, but right now, I think we're going to stop right here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing such a personal story with us. There are many out there that need to know more about Shibboleth, and so we'll get another opportunity to tell them a little more about that. But we'll close it up now. Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about Shibboleth, you can find us on the website at myshibboleth.com. Joe, thank you again for being with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And as we say on the planet of Shibboleth, have a perfect day.